All right, the games have started before I get myself in an even deeper hole with the tax talk.
Okay. So Boxbox is going for the hoodie look. I don't feel like I've seen him with this look before. Actually, you know what else? Here's another question. Has he played without headphones on? Because he doesn't have headphones. There's no way he has headphones on.
I mean, his head is not that big. I think he does have headphones underneath. He looks a bit like Kenny.
You're right. You're right. He does. Sorry, you're right. Actually, sorry, you're right. He does. Yes, this is true.
Okay, well, we got another Vienna Gambit from him. This is what we expected because you only heard that he changed his preparation with the black pieces, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm curious if he's going to take your tip and not push h3 first and just go for bishop g2 and knight f3 instead to not waste a move.
Yeah, I think it's very important that he goes bishop g2. No.
I'm glad he listened to your lesson, Hikaru.
No.
I mean, it's obviously not.
Well, the problem with the order that he's played though here is he has to play knight e2 now, because if he goes bishop g2, Forsen is going to play pawn to d5.
Right.
He does it. Okay, he does the right order. Okay.
Okay. And now he can go for d4 if he wants.
Right, so he should take, we might not, you might be ahead of me, but yeah, I probably should take the pawn on d5 and then play pawn to d4. But yeah, this is, Forsen clearly has studied off stream though, because pushing his pawn to c6 and playing d5 is not something you just come up with randomly.
Right. And I'm curious if he did the preparation offline, because there has been quite a bit of stream sniping of the opening preparation online. And now that it's onto the bracket, I can see them both taking it more seriously. I just realized,
is there a trick here? Pawn takes pawn. Can you go queen to b6?
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Okay, it doesn't, but I think queen b6 was maybe very dangerous there, actually. He doesn't do it, but queen b6 I think was extremely dangerous for
right, because then Boxbox has to play rook h2 or d4, and they both look pretty scary. Okay, let's continue here. So now if he plays queen b6, Boxbox has time to castle, but I can't say I love this opening choice for Boxbox just because it is kind of risky, and I feel like his opponent has always gotten some counter chances.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think here it's already a critical moment in the game, whether Forsen plays pawn to d4, whether he moves the knight to c6 or he castles. I personally would move the knight to c6 to stop white from pushing the pawn in the center. But all moves here are pretty good. If Forsen plays this correctly, he is slightly better, I think, already. But it depends what he does. So he goes d4, right?
Which looks like
I actually didn't mute Boxbox, so I was watching his stream.
Yeah, well, let's pull up Boxbox's stream, and he's pretty quiet, so we can see what he's thinking and also comment on top. All right, so you were saying that you think Forsen has the advantage so far in the opening.
Yes, Forsen is definitely better here. He's going to get to play pawn to f5 as well. And I think the big danger... Oh, no, don't... Oh, no, bishop takes h3. I
have my
eye on no, something. That is a big problem here. That is a big problem. I wonder, I mean, you know, Forsen has time to see it here.
All right, think about this. I need to get my king here.
That's why he missed it, because he's used to having his king on h2.
Ooh. Oh. Wow. Okay, this is looking pretty good for Forsen, really I'm not going to lie.
And if he plays a move like bishop takes g2, I mean, he's still going to have really weak light squares next to his king.
I really don't want to trade.
Yeah, I mean, I think he should take the pawn on b7. I think it's the most critical move. It's the best move in the position as well. So he has to take on b7. This is absolutely critical that
Just to create some complications.
Take.
Well, otherwise he's gonna end
Oh
up
wow,
down
we've
a
already
pawn
got
at
into
the
like
very
unconventional
least.
territory.
So gotta take the pawn on b7.
Well, let's. He has the arrows on the board, so he's probably going to go for it.
Okay, checks, captures, attacks. I think this is fine. I'd rather do this than spend a turn defending.
So now, I guess we're going to see right away what's going on. One thing, of course, that's different from this match, from some of the other matches or some of the games individually, is that this is the first match where I feel like both players are not going to make many mistakes. So it's very interesting to see who blinks first and makes mistakes. So Boxbox hung the pawn on h3, but in return he got the pawn on b7. Okay, so Forsen takes the rook. He probably should have moved the knight to d7 instead, but he still remains much better, I think, overall.
Right. So now Boxbox has to consider the options with taking on f1 with either the king or the queen, or taking the rook right away. I think it makes more sense to take the bishop first, since the rook can't move. Probably with the queen. It's
right. Although if you take the bishop first, then you're going to lose your light square bishop. So
that's true. After knight d7.
Yeah, so probably you should take the bishop, but it's a tough position. I mean, I think both players are aware of what's going on here.
Boxbox getting a little bit low on time. Do you think a 2 minute down, 2 minutes less than your opponent is significant here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's significant in terms of the overall game, but what I would say is that I feel like Forsen is a guy who tends to be a little bit slower. So the fact that Forsen has built up this time advantage on the clock does give him very good chances here to potentially use the time at a critical moment and find the best moves. And now, actually, again, it's all on Forsen. He has to play knight to d7 here, which he does play. And now after bishop takes rook, queen takes rook, the material is very balanced here. Black is probably better due to the placement of the pawns and just the general activity, whereas white has not developed the bishop or the rook here. But it's still, I think, anybody's game. I would still say it's pretty level.
Right, but on top of that, Boxbox also has the weaker king. So, I mean, he's going to have these super weak light squares, and he's lower on time. So, you know, when you add all those things together, it does give Forsen a much closer chance than we thought at the start of the game.
Right. So I think here, if Forsen plays pawn to e4, things are going to become really hard for Boxbox to play. But again, it's still a long way to go, and I think anything could happen here.
Right, and you would want to keep your queen on the board in this position just because you think of king safety, and when your opponent has a weak king, if you're able to keep the queen on the board, you have better chances of creating some kind of attack, versus if you trade off queens and then your opponent can develop a little bit more comfortably and then eventually might just get into more even position.
Right, exactly. And I also feel like this position is very much in Forsen's style. He's getting a lot of space. He can use the pawns, and I think Forsen has gotten everything and more than he could have asked for out of this opening phase of the game.
Right. And now we see him sitting and taking a think. And I think this is very important. And I've tried to make a point out of this in the lessons I've had with the PogChamps participants. Once you transition from the opening into the middle game, even if it's a 10-minute game, if you sit and think a little bit, like between 1 minute to 3 minutes, to just understand the general themes, then you usually both play better and save time after.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So Forsen is really thinking here, which I think is a good sign, because this is a critical moment in terms of the development here.
Right. And so in terms of plans, obviously there's e4. There's also, I mean, don't trade off the queen, so that's why e4 is important first. And then he even has ideas like f5 to try and push on the king side even faster. Queen d8 I like, because he's not going for the trade.
Right, exactly. So I like what Forsen is doing here. Very, very good.
And just a reminder to everyone, so this is the first game. If even if Forsen does win, Boxbox has another chance. And in the case that Boxbox wins the second game and Forsen wins the first game, then they would actually go to a 3 minutes tie breaks, which is interesting because Boxbox has also been playing quite a bit of blitz, but I think Forsen has experience there as well. So I don't know who that would be better for.
Right, exactly. And Forsen did not play the right move. He moved the queen over. And so now that white was able to push the pawn to d3, Boxbox is back in the game here. It's still very complicated, of course, but he's going to be able to bring the bishop and develop his rook here, and he's definitely going to have chances.
And oh, I did not like that move. Why don't I like that move? It just feels like his king is already weak, and he's pushing yet another pawn by the king side. Like if Forsen just brings his rook to e8 to try and get on the semi-open file and hold attention. He also blocked his own bishop here.
Okay, so pawn to e4, and the frozen bags are not going to be melting. Pawn to e4.
Yeah, pawn to e4 I also like. Pawn to e4, and the trick there is that if Boxbox takes it and it looks like a free pawn, there's actually this discovery attack with d3, checking the king and the knight at the same time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everything is looking really, really good here for Forsen. Oh, the God Gamer.
Hikaru is so proud.
The God Gamer is back.
All right. Well, Boxbox, what are you going to do here? Just don't take on e4. But if you don't take on e4, what are you? Oh, man. He has to play something like bishop d2.
Yeah.
No. Oh, my gosh. He didn't play d3.
Oh, he missed it. No, but pawn takes pawn is still good because now if you take, there's... Oh, okay.
It's not as good, but I guess, yeah, it's still a nice...
In a way, it's not... Well, but it's like, it's psychological because it's not as good in a way. Mm-hmm. But it's also like, it's also really good because Boxbox realizes now. So now he's not going to take the pawn, but I think taking the pawn is actually kind of the best move here almost. So it's like, it didn't work, but now like it does. You see, so it's...
That was the most convoluted explanation I've heard in a while.
Well, no, because you saw Boxbox reaction. So he saw that pawn to d3 discover check. The fossil attack on the king was very good. But he saw it. So now when Forsen takes back, he doesn't want to take the pawn because of the check.
Right. Which so he's gonna miss the best move because there's nothing. I mean, so let's give examples. He can't move his bishop to d2 because then I guess no, you can play d3 regardless. So let's say he moves his king over to get away from the discovery attack.
Yeah, but the problem is now it's like it's actually worse. Although I realize there's a trick here. So if black pushes the pawn to d3, you can take pawn takes pawn, then you have queen d5 check, winning the pawn.
Right.
And this is a very complicated game. Objectively, this is winning for black with correct play. Whether both players can find the moves, I think is going to be very tricky.
Right. And Forsen is getting... Oh my God, that is such a nice move. He is protecting the pawn on e4. He also has ideas of knight g4 in the future. He's also freeing up his queen on the d file. I'm really impressed right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty rough for Boxbox. Like, I'm struggling to find ideas actually because problem is black can push the pawns in the center of the board. Like there's d3 and there's e3. It's
let's listen on Boxbox and see what his defending plans are.
Starting to run low on time. Need to get my bishop in the game. This is also like a very scary diagonal to hold. Very scary for him. Okay.
Damn,
if he moves this, he loses bishop. Brutal. Oh, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Oh, man. This is such a hard position to even look at. I mean, this is a position that basically shows why Boxbox should be careful with his opening choice.
Yeah, I mean, this is just very tough. Very, very rough position, honestly, for Albert. I mean, I guess this is... On the bright side, it is best of two, though. So at least even if he loses the game, he's going to have a chance in the second game.
Right. Well, he's under 3 minutes and a half on the clock here. If
Compared
he takes on d3, I mean, you just take back with the pawn and you have the same problems.
Yeah, I mean, both captures were good. Even queen takes was very strong too. Like queen takes
Right.
pawn, bishop b2, knight g4 is probably winning the game. This is, oh man, this is hard though. This is really hard, especially with the king on the central square on f1. But again, anything can happen.
Yeah, it's still not over. Although d2 looks very strong and very intuitive here, just going for the pawn promotion, or even and then playing knight d4 once you've kicked the bishop out.
Yeah, so I mean, if you get bishop d2 and rook e1, if you stabilize your position, you have chances. You have chances
this
to
knight out of
survive
here.
this.
So bishop
He's
d2
on the
here is
square.
actually a good call. Let's see if Boxbox thinks about it.
Oh no, no. Now knight g4.
Oof.
I feel like that was a bad move on his part.
He needed his
I get
bishop
my
on
rook out, I
c1
got my bishop where I want it to go.
to protect against knight e3.
Yeah, the bishop needs to stay on the other diagonal. Now knight g4 is really, really hard to react to. I don't really know what the move is.
I don't know. You don't know what the move is for Boxbox, you mean?
Yeah, after knight g4, you probably have to play a
Now
move
I
like
go here?
knight to d1, but it's not really a human kind of move, and yeah, this is difficult.
Yeah, I think so.
Very, very difficult.
I have
Well,
my
Forsen
arms.
also has to see it. He's
Wait, this knight
also
needs to go.
close to under 4 minutes.
Yeah, this is going to be a really,
go
really
here.
close.
If
This
he
is going to be a
takes, I
close
take
finish.
bishop.
I think. I mean, if Forsen finds a couple of good moves, he probably can win this game
Oh,
without
wait,
any.
no, this
any
doesn't work
game-
anymore.
Any trouble. But if he makes one
Yeah,
or two
no, I'm
wrong
done.
moves,
This
and
doesn't work
Boxbox
anymore
gets
because
the
of
rook to the center of the
the
board, Boxbox will definitely be in it, and he might even have a chance to turn it around and win the game.
All right. Well, from what you've seen with Forsen, how well does he play under 4 minutes?
He's been fine. I think the main thing with Forsen is that he likes positions where they're tactical ideas, and I think that's why I think he's going to spot knight g4 here. But again, we'll see. We'll see. After knight g4, I really don't know what Boxbox will play.
And he plays it. This is really important. Even if he spent a minute and a half on that move, but now he's gonna have such a huge time sink from Boxbox, and he played the most accurate move. So I think it was worth it.
Oh man, this is.
It's tough.
Yeah, this is a very tough position to play. I feel like with every move, I feel good and I feel bad for both of them. Like it's a very weird feeling because normally it's like even if we aren't normally like biased, you have certain like general preferences, and it's very tough because every move like I feel good, but then I also feel bad for both players here. So it's a tough position here. Yeah,
So
I don't
knight
know.
d1 is what you suggested because it holds e3 and it also keeps the bishop protected with the queen.
Right. Oh no, he's hovering over the rook. Oh, he's hovering over rook d1.
Maybe he's
going to
go rook e1.
Yeah, I mean, rook e1 is a move, knight d1 is a move, but the problem is there's really no good way to meet this knight check except for knight to d1.
Right. And after rook e1, I'm guessing that Forsen would just play knight e3 regardless and get the exchange there.
Right, exactly. So he's hovering over queen f3 now.
Yeah, queen f3 would stop one queen fork, but it would fall into another one.
Yeah, I would allow knight h2 check. Yeah, this. Oh man.
It's a little tough. Okay, now he's considering queen d2.
The problem also is that Boxbox's clock is getting really low now. He's down to 1 minute, and he doesn't have any clear path moves here.
Right. And I mean, knight e3 is still so strong because the king has to go to the e file after.
Right.
No other legal moves. And then
there is a move that wins on the spot here, though, which I think is very hard to find, which is queen to a8. And your king is just getting checkmated, basically. I mean, queen a8 is lethal. Queen a8 really is like just game over.
If Forsen sees queen a8, I mean,
queen Queen A8 and knight to E3 are both winning, I think, for black. Knight E3 I think is much more it's much more human, but Queen A8 is game over.
Right. Oh, chat. This is okay. It's tough for Boxbox, but I think we have to actually give Forsen credit because the reason why he's winning is that he played an incredible game from the opening, and he has outplayed Boxbox in the game. Neither side made any serious or obvious blunders.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the mistakes have been very small. They have been mistakes, but you haven't seen like a bishop or a knight. You haven't seen people blundering free pieces here. So, yeah, this is. Let's see. Will Forsen find Queen A8? It's not a very normal looking move. He does have extra time. He's got 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I think knight E3 is the obvious move because it's a check, and then you can move the knight to win the rook. But both moves are really, really good here. I would be surprised if he doesn't play one of them.
Ooh.
Oh, he goes bishop E3. Okay.
I mean, he still has a very strong position here. And I was just about to ask you, I mean, do you think it's more important for Forsen now to sit and think of the most accurate moves or just play some good moves relatively quickly so he doesn't get into too serious of a time scramble and end up making a serious blunder?
Good moves are important here. Nonetheless, this is still a very difficult position for white to play. You can only move the queen to D1 or to G2. There's the only two squares. Once again, queen to A8 is a forced checkmate here. Whether Forsen sees it or not, we'll see. But queen A8 would be winning on the spot in this position.
Right.
Again.
I mean, the good thing for Forsen is if he does start freaking out about the time situation, you know, he can still make some relatively normal looking moves like
whoa, he blundered. Queen takes knight.
Not a free knight though.
Oh, whoa. He blundered. Oh, he blunders it.
Wait. And yeah, now you play queen E2
and now white is winning the game. White is up one piece and white is winning here.
Yeah, let's go to Boxbox, see what he's saying right now. Oh, okay, he's just focused actually. Does he realize he saved it?
This is really scary. This is so scary. My knight and rook cover this though.
This is what I'm saying. It's like you feel good, but then you feel bad. It's like wow, like somehow Boxbox is
my heart is
all
pounding.
around, but then at the same time you feel
this
so
is
bad
what I came
because
here
Forsen
for.
played a great game.
Win or lose, I'm having a great time.
Oh, and Forsen trades the queens, which I think now I think Boxbox is going to convert the game, barring some sort of big mistake. But it's still 50 seconds. Anything can happen here.
Yeah, that was. It is a bit heartbreaking to see somebody play such a good game and then make one blunder.
Right, and I think still there's bishop d4 here after king f3. Okay, he goes king f7, but now knight d5, and now you can move the bishop back with the idea of rook e1. It's still, I mean, it should be winning for Boxbox, but if he plays rook d1, he's going to win the game.
Right. Okay, he still has the option to do that now. Just get rid of any threat here.
But now rook to d8. Rook to d8, and again, it's still...
Right, rook d8 is a little bit tricky in case Boxbox accidentally moves the knight and allows d1 to promote.
Oh, this is so scary.
He knows he has to eliminate the pawn. There you go.
I need to eliminate this pawn. Use my material
Yeah,
advantage.
but rook to d8 is the only move here. If Forsen plays rook to d8, I still don't know what's going to happen in this game.
But my knight barely protects it.
It was... Oh, tricky. Oh, what a tricky move. Or does it work?
Isn't there
no, it doesn't.
knight e3?
You have knight e3. You have knight e3. But that's the only move here. That's the
wow,
only move here.
That's such a good shot by Forsen.
Knight e3 wins
30
the game.
seconds.
Does he see it? He does.
I think this is the only move that saves him.
Wow.
Wow, Boxbox. That was so impressive. So impressive.
I think I did it.
I
think I did it.
Wow, and Forsen loses the game.
That was such a scary last move.
Wow.
What a close game. Oh my gosh. Beautiful finish by Boxbox. He really swindled it there.
Oh my god.
Wow, what a game. However, Forsen has a chance to come back. It's not over. This is best of two. It's not best of one, so anything can still happen here. And wow, what a game.
Yeah.
Now this is what we all live for.
Absolutely. And shout out to more than 70,000 of you guys who are watching this. Thanks so much for being here and, for supporting Forsen and Boxbox match right now. Wow. And yeah, this is an easy finish for Boxbox. He just has way too many pieces.
What a game. Wow. What a game. Yeah. What a game.
Oof. Okay, well, I mean, very clean finish. I think Forsen is probably just playing on because once you've lost a game like that, you're just,
well, okay,
dealing
but
with
no drama, no drama. Okay, no drama. Okay, he gets the knight to g4. We were very close to maybe having some more drama there for a second, but yeah.
Oh, you were worried about the pawn having
there's the past H pawn. Okay, now
Right,
Boxbox
right.
just needs to push this one. Yeah, okay. No
I
drama.
assume Boxbox will see it after the other moves he saw.
Yeah. What? Wow. I mean, just amazing.
Oh shit.
Wow. All right, so Forsen is going to be in a need to win situation. I'm guessing that it's not really going to change the way he plays. He'll still do his normal thing, and if it's a drawish position, he'll just have to push for a win.
Right, and I don't think either player is probably thinking about draws here at this point. But yeah, wow, this game was wow, very close game.
Boxbox coming in with a nice mating attack. I love how he still has the animations on his chessboard, even though it increases a little bit of lag and it's a serious game.
Right. Wow.
He prefers the content, I guess, over a slight lag.
Yeah, and now I think Boxbox will just make the checkmate. I don't even think he's gonna make a queen. I think he's just gonna make the check. Or okay, he can do two queens, but like you're gonna see him just try to checkmate as fast as possible.
Let's not take any risks.
Rather than risk some kind of stalemate here, I think.
Right.
Because at this point, I think he's very relieved. He was losing in this game, so what a big turnaround for Boxbox to turn it around and win the game here. And now Queen H6 is checkmate. Yep.
Oh my god.
Go. Wow.
Let me just
what a
very
game.
carefully do this. Okay.
Wow, what a game.
Oh my god, he played that so well. That was so scary.
What a sigh of relief as well.
Up until he ran out of time, I was so scared.
That's actually one of my pet peeves. When I used to play chess as a kid, I would hate it when my opponent would make a good move and then they would take out the water and go like a sigh of relief, like they just earned the drink, and it would tilt me so hard. Don't. Okay, Hikaru. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Right on cue.
You forgot to do the at the end.
Right, exactly. Yeah, forgot to do that part of it. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, we can review the game a little bit before their next game. So it's 1-0 for Boxbox right now, and I'm just gonna go through the opening here. And H3. So Boxbox played this, and last time he was on interview, we discussed a bit how this is a slow move that's not actually necessary, and he should just play Bishop G2 instead. But all right, I guess he was familiar with it, so he went for that plan regardless. And C6 seemed like preparation from Forsen. He knew that Boxbox was going to play this opening because it's pretty predictable. He's played it a few times, white and black. So he was preparing that D5 idea, and it really paid off in the opening. I mean, he got a fantastic position.
Yeah, I think Forsen played a great game. Most of the game was good, and unfortunately for him, he lost his concentration for 1 second, and that one move, blundering that knight on G4, is what cost him the game.
Yeah, let me pull up
literally
that blunder.
One move is what cost him the game. Without that one move, he would have won.
Their next game is starting in a minute, so I'll just try to go right to that blunder. Where was it? No, it was before this. Sorry.
It was when he played pawn to d2. I don't know what move number.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah. I'm just scrolling for the move number. This is not where it is. Okay, here.
Right here, exactly. And in this position, if he had played queen to a8, he would have won the game here.
Right, or
So-
even a more obvious move like queen d7 just to protect.
right.
the knight,
Also, yeah,
which
both
I
of
think
these moves
this
would
is
have
more
won.
fair to
Yeah.
expect Forsen to see.
Although I felt knight e3 was the move that he should have seen instead of bishop to e3. If he played knight to e3, he would have won this game as well, because no matter where the king goes, you go knight to c2 check, and you take the rook, and then I don't really see how white can win the game. But anyway, still one game to go. This is not like in the group stage, so it's one game to go. It's gonna be interesting to see how Forsen responds.
All right, well, we got liftoff. Forsen goes for e4. And now we finally get to see what Boxbox has been working on, the Caro-Kann. Okay, so you can talk about it now.
Well, I only know that he looked at this with Gotham Chess last night. I didn't actually I didn't watch any of it. I have no idea what Forsen will do against it. This is the only thing. And Forsen seems stumped, which I guess is not a good sign.
Uh-oh. Knight c3, that's not the main line, which is d4, but it's also okay. He can just try and go for an exchange line if he doesn't know the opening.
Okay, so he brings both knights out. This is pretty good. Now, this is one of the less common openers. I feel like if you don't know what your opponent's going to do, as a coach, you're trying to show somebody just like in an hour or two what to do against it. It's kind of hard to look at the setup because you assume someone's going to put a pawn on d4 and have two pawns in the center. So
right.
There is some real danger here for Boxbox if he isn't sure how to proceed at this point of the game.
Right. And if he isn't sure how to proceed, I guess the natural moves, things like knight f6, they're okay, but then you have to deal with e5, knight fd7, and playing that kind of close position is fine for most Caro-Kann players, but for someone who's switching to this opening for the first time, it is pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think that okay, it goes d4. I don't really like this move.
Because now he has to try for c5, so it's like a little bit of a waste.
I have this strange feeling that Forsen has looked at this somehow, or he's looked at something similar, because he plays knight e2 instantly, and I don't really feel like that's a natural move. He surely has not looked at this specific position.
But where else would his knight go? I mean, putting it back seems
well, no, I'm not saying you might not play knight e2 by process of elimination, but I wouldn't expect you to instantly play the move. And the fact that he played it instantly tells me that he's looked at some setup with a pawn on d4 where he puts knights on f3 and g3 here.
That's fair. And
or he goes d3, g3.
And another key move for him to do soon is d3, because you usually don't want to allow d3 for too long.
What is that?
Is he blundering a pawn here? He is.
Yeah, just knight takes pawn, and white's up a pawn.
And you could take with either knight, because you're not going to take with the queen, because then it's just a trade.
Correct.
Okay, and Forsen sees it. That was a
okay. So
okay.
Forsen just needs to take with the knight, and okay, this is Forsen's chance. He is up one pawn. He has two bishops. He's going to get the entire center of the board as well, because he's going to get a pawn to d4 and a bishop to d3. Okay, so if Forsen does not win this game, he will have nobody to blame but himself, because in the first game he was winning, and in the second game he has already gotten a close to winning position out of the opening as well. So if Forsen doesn't win here, then you can't really say it was for a lack of having chances, because he's gotten winning positions in both games.
That's very fair here. So what Boxbox needs to try to do is develop as quickly as possible, because Boxbox doesn't have any of his pieces developed here, and he doesn't have a central pawn. So that's a plan that for sure Boxbox will see. I don't think Forsen is going to end up winning out of the opening, but I think he's going to get a really nice attack once we transition into the middle game, just because he's ahead in development and in space.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, at this point, not that I'm taking favorites, but I want to see a tiebreaker. So I really want to see Forsen win this game just for the drama.
That's
so
fair.
Now Forsen can push the pawn to d4 and moves the bishop to d3. And honestly, he's just much, much better here.
Right.
This opening has gone very wrong. Very, very wrong for Boxbox.
So do you think it was a mistake for Boxbox to try a new opening that he's less familiar with?
Yeah, I think actually it was a big mistake trying to switch openings, and also because he won the first game. I mean, when you're ahead 1-0, it makes more sense to stick to something because you only need the draw. You just need to play something, get out of the opening, and you're fine. And you can also tell from the way Boxbox is looking that he's clearly disappointed in this opening. So this is going to be, yeah, we're in for a thriller here.
So in terms of tricky moves Boxbox can try, c5 is the one I was going to suggest because if Forsen takes and Boxbox is able to trade queens and bring his bishop out, then the lack of development won't be as much of an issue.
Okay,
But
so
he
Forsen plays
d5.
d5, which is a very good move as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this could go really bad in a hurry for Boxbox because the threat is bishop b5 check here, and then your king is really under attack.
Right. And now knight f6, so we can see bishop g5, which seems very strong, and then you're going to have to deal with e5 threats in the future as well.
Right, bishop g5 is a very good move here. Bishop b5 is also a good move. But I think all there really aren't bad moves here, except maybe pawn takes pawn. I wouldn't recommend pawn takes pawn because then queens come off the board, and it's not so clear.
Right. And Boxbox lower on the clock than Forsen, so that's a big advantage for Forsen since, as we mentioned, he tends to be the slower player between the two. And in the last game, we saw that he finally made a mistake when he was in time pressure. So the more of a rating of a time advantage he can get even earlier on in the game, it'll be really important.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It makes me worry that if they do go to tiebreak for Forsen, the 3-minute situation will be very difficult.
I think it's going to be difficult for both of them, honestly. I don't know who it's going to favor. I really have no idea. I think both players are going to really struggle. I think it's going to be very impossible to predict who will react better.
Right. And is it 3-0 with no increment or there is increment? I'll take a check.
I think it's 3-0 actually.
Because that we're gonna see some dirty flagging.
Right, this is true. Yeah, this is a good point. You could definitely see that for sure.
Let's listen in on Boxbox's stream and see what he's have a preference for Forsen's position, even though he's going to give the pawn back. Because he's still a bit ahead in development, but it's just much, much closer now. Okay, so e takes f6. Knight takes f6 seems more natural for him because if he takes with a g pawn, then he's going to weaken his kingside pawns here.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is I think taking with the pawn is objectively the correct move, but I don't really expect... Oh, he takes on
now
b2?
There's f7 check.
Ooh, this I don't like. This I don't like at all because the queen was stopping the white king from castling. And now I think Forsen is very much is going to get attacking chances again.
Right.
Yeah, this is going to be a wild game now.
And so there's castling. There's also f7 so that he doesn't give up his pawn. And he ruins Boxbox's castle and then he can castle.
Right. I think f7 makes a lot of sense here. Rook b1 makes sense. All moves make sense here. I think the key is just that, did he play f7 or is that your move?
He played it. I'm really impressed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go, Forsen. Let's go.
Actually, I didn't think about this before, but king takes f7, knight g5. Maybe there's even some checkmate ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing here, though, is that basically Forsen can castle the king out of the center. This is very important that he remembers to do that. And Boxbox is getting his king stuck in the center of the board. So I'm kind of concerned here. As long as Forsen doesn't blunder like the rook on a1, which I don't think he will blunder, and he castles on the next move, this is going to be a very uncomfortable situation for Boxbox to be in.
Oof. And I mean, king g8 seems like the safest square, but then he's also moving his king onto a square where he has no more squares to go to.
Right, exactly. So yeah, this is very, very dangerous. I mean, I think Forsen is objectively winning with the correct moves. Now, the game's not going to play out like that. When I say it's winning, I'm saying if Grandmaster is playing. Obviously, Forsen is not a Grandmaster, at least not yet.
It's not obvious. No, okay.
But basically, the point is that even though Black's up a pawn, Black's king and the lack of development is a big issue. So Forsen needs to castle the king here, and as long as he castles the king, if he castles the king out of the center of the board, I think he's going to win this game.
Right. He has to be careful to not blunder something like queen f6 going for mate and forgetting that his rook is not protected.
Yeah.
So that's why castling is so important, because then his rooks are going to be connected, his king is safe, and then he can go for the attack after.
Exactly, yeah.
If he takes on e6, then he's opening up the file on his king. 6 minutes and a half, so he has time to think here. And he castles. Very clean play.
Yeah, so now this is the reason this is going to be very hard for Boxbox to play is because there aren't many threats. If you look at the center of the board, there are very few pawns and there are very few threats. So the only threats black can try to create are against the pawn on h2, or maybe something down the middle of the board. But realistically, at this point, it's very unlikely. And because of the lack of threats, I think Forsen moves are a lot easier to find. And therefore, that's why I think Boxbox is going to have a lot of problems in this position.
Right. I mean, in terms of even finding moves for Boxbox here, it's pretty tough because he wants to develop his bishop, but he doesn't have good squares. Maybe something like bishop e7, then he drops the pawn on e6. Queen f6 looks like a good shot just because it brings the queen back to defend his king. He can make it quickly. It also protects e6, but it doesn't help him with developing his pieces.
Right, and this is the big issue. So the king and the rook specifically are very poorly placed here. This is the big issue for black. And so I feel like it's just going to be very hard. Unless Forsen blunders like a bishop or a knight, he just does what he did last game where he just accidentally slips and doesn't see it. Okay, now I think queen g4, queen f3, and queen e2, all queen moves are very, very good here. I think all three moves lead to all roads lead to Rome here.
And queen f3 looks like the strongest just because he has a checkmate in one, but it does also, I guess, lure Boxbox to bring his queen back in.
Oh wow, rook b1, nice move.
Yeah, he can take on b7 after. It looks pretty good. For a second, I thought it wasn't the strongest move because I was focused on him going straight for the attack.
Right. I mean, it's not the strongest move, but I would say if you don't move the queen, the other move that is really logical and really good is to move the rook because it's just black. If you look at black development, bishop on original square, both rooks on the original square. The king is on g8, not the ideal square. So the lack of development here, I think, is going to lead to I would say now I feel very confident that Forsen is going to win this game, barring some kind of just one temporary.
That's what we said last time. I think like 2 moves before the blunder happened. So I'm just going to hold off saying anything for now. Okay, very logical move. Grabs the pawn. He's attacking the knight. His rook is coming into the attack. Very strong position here.
Right, exactly.
Knight f6 seems like one of the best solutions also because, it's going to hold the h5 square away from the queen. If queen f3 comes, at least there's no queen f7, and it defends the knight. And I'm just taking a look to see what... Oh, Boxbox is going for knight c5 and...
Queen f3 is game over. Queen f3, and there is a forced checkmate. No way that black can stop checkmate in one after queen to f3.
Right, because he moved away both of his pieces, the knight and the queen, that could have come back with the blocking moves. Wow.
So queen f3 is checkmate in one if Forsen sees it. Will he see queen f3?
Box, by the way.
Okay.
Oof. I mean, queen h5 also looks very good.
Yeah, both moves lead to checkmate.
Go here and then push this pawn.
Oh my god, he saw it!
Tiebreaker.
I feel like I have everything
baby.
protected just for now. Oh shit.
Wow. Oh no, does he see that it's over? Yeah, he's getting there.
Is that mate?
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh my god, I think that's mate.
Oh, here we go.
That's so cool. There's no way I can protect that. I blocked myself off.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The 3-0 is gonna be very fun to watch, but I do feel a bit... I guess it is kind of justified though, because Forsen played very well, you know?
Right, agreed. Yeah, in this game, Forsen definitely did. I agree.
Oh, that's sick. There's actually nowhere I can go. I can take rook, he still checkmates. Make an opening, it's still checkmate.
I wonder how they pick who picks white or black. I'm gonna look into that.
I can't even like open a pawn up because 2 pawns are blocking. Wow.
Boxbox is gonna
Can I
get
check
white
him?
because he's the higher
No, I don't
seed.
think I can.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
Oh, even Boxbox appreciates it.
That's actually
that is
awesome.
Adorable.
Holy shit.
Like, such
He's
a
a
good
god
sport.
for finding that. I thought his eyes would be glued to this rook.
Is Forsen celebrating? Looks like he's celebrating.
Are those weights?
Or no, he went to get his
Oh, it's
dog.
his
Never
puppy.
There's
mind.
no way out of this
Aw.
at all.
Aww. Aww. Puppy for the win. Okay, so Boxbox said he's going to make a random move just because he's not ready to resign yet. Now we're going to see if Forsen finishes him off with Queen F7. Yep.
Nice. Wow. Wow.
Well, that was just super impressive. Chat, we are going to see the tie break. It is going to be Boxbox with the white pieces because he's a higher ranked seed versus Forsen with the black pieces. The time control is going to be 3 minutes, no increment. So this is going to be a game where speed is very important. Hikaru, what do you give the odds for Boxbox Forsen?
50-50. I think either player can win this. I would say it's a straight 50-50.
Well, chat, don't go anywhere. We're gonna put Choco Bars' stream on since she's playing Ludwig up next, and we will be back in a few minutes.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, hold on to your yogurt. That's my baby. She's on her tubie. She likes to hold on to it like this. It's like a baby. I love it when she does this. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, what? I can't kiss you while you're eating? Oh, damn. Alright. Oh! Hi, Chess! I'm on the chess stream. Hazel! You're on the chess stream. Okay, oh, she left. She's shy. Hello! Chess stream again. I'm guessing you have a couple of questions. Who is this? Hello, my name is X Chocobars, and I'll be fighting Ludwig today in 10-ish minutes. We're playing 2 matches, and hopefully I win both of them. You're also probably asking, is this my real voice? No, it was not my real voice. This is my real voice. Okay, that was kind of cringe. But yes, this is my real voice. Alright, I'm gonna do some puzzles to warm up. Yeah, it was kind of cringe. I thought it was funny, and then I regretted it. Let's move on from that. Okay. Man, doing puzzles knowing chess community is watching me do puzzles, it's kind of scary. I kind of want to... Am I in check, actually? I don't think so. Well, if I eat this, then this will do this. Then I can probably check since I moved this away. And I think it's just checkmate. Let me see. Okay, he moved up. I didn't expect that. But now that he moved up, this means I can eat this. So it's fine either way. Chappy, thanks for converting your Prime to sub. Welcome. Thank you so much. Get a gifted sub redeemed. Oh, okay, okay. Let me gift a sub real quick. Do, 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 do. I'm sorry about my cat. She's just my cat.
And we're back, Hikaru. We are about to see the tiebreak. 3-0, Boxbox white pieces, Forsen black pieces. You put it at a 50-50 chat. Anything can happen. I'm super pumped for this. I hope we're going to see some dirty flagging, though.
Yeah, I think this game, I don't know who the favorite is. I feel, internally, I feel like Forsen is a very slight favorite. I think he's played more online just over the last year and a half, 2 years. He's played quite a bit of Blitz, I feel like. So I think he's maybe a very slight favorite. But again, I think anything can happen. And it's going to be, the time usage by both players is going to be very critical here. And I think it's anyone's game.
All right, chat. Well, we are going to have takeoff soon. And here we go. Is Boxbox going to try the same opening? Is he going to play the H3 line again? What do you think, Hikaru?
I think he'll definitely play G3. I don't know if he'll play H3. Okay, now Forsen moves the knight this time. He does a different setup. Okay.
And Boxbox goes straight for bishop G2, so good improvement.
Mm-hmm. So I assume Forsen will play pawn to D6 here. Okay, castle. They both castle. So far, this opening is definitely in favor of Boxbox with the development, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, still, it's not a symmetrical position because we have Boxbox putting his bishop on the fianchettoed square right now. But what I like is that both players are making solid moves quickly. That's what you need to do in 3-0.
Boxbox was trying to play F4, by the way.
And he's preparing it now. Here, he could go for H3.
He should have gone H3, yeah. But again, both players are low on time, so I think they're trying to make quick moves.
Right. And I think that's the general philosophy for Blitz, so they don't have to sweat missing the exact perfect move here.
Right.
All right. Boxbox goes for it. F4. Who do you think this attack is scarier for?
It should be easier to play for white objectively, but I don't know. I mean, both players are going to have to make pretty quick moves here, so I have no idea what's going to happen.
I really liked knight d4 from Forsen. I think that was a good take. He's going for the trade, then he can move his bishop back. And so far, he's blocked off Boxbox's pawn storm on the king side. But, you know, Boxbox has more pawns that are coming. G4 is what I'm thinking.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think this could get really ugly for Forsen in a hurry. Okay, so he should play G4 here. Now, whether Boxbox knows how to proceed and convert this pawn storm, I don't know. This is really going to be the question.
I think bishop b4 seemed a bit like a wasted move, but I don't...
G5 traps the knight. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. He just needs to see G5 here. And he sees it. There goes Forsen's knight. Oh, that's rough.
Still a game though. They both have 2 minutes. They're only 1 minute in. So I think if the clock stays close here, it's going to be really, really close.
And he can try to be tricky with knight takes e4 and then also grab the g pawn. He went instead for b5. So he's trying to create some kind of counterplay. I think he has to take with his queen. He doesn't want to open his king up anymore.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So Boxbox up a full piece, and he has to still keep playing quickly because we have, you know, seen both players choke when they're too low on the clock, and Boxbox is still not taking time, which is fair.
Yeah, both players are very even on the clock, so I think anything can happen still.
Seeing some trades on the queen side. I would like to see Boxbox try to put some pressure on Forsen's king. I think that could be useful. Even moves like rook g1, which feel pretty natural.
Right. Yeah, this is... Man, Boxbox is thinking here.
All right, and we're going to unmute Boxbox so we can hear what he's saying as well.
Okay, so now you have to go rook a8. Okay.
Although he's not speaking, he's just fully focused, so we have some nice background music. I'm impressed with how quickly they're seeing these tags. Oh, the rook.
You're ahead. You're ahead of me. You're ahead of me.
Oh, sorry about that. I was looking...
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Wow. But it's not over. They both have 1 minute. You got to keep going, Boxbox. It's not over. It's not over. It's 1 minute. You got to keep going. He's thinking too long here.
I like that he tried to simplify. Also, ideas like f6 and going for the mate at some point makes sense.
Yeah, it's got to go faster though.
Oh, Hikaru, you're about to see it.
Oh. Yeah, okay. As long as Boxbox remembers it's just regular, gotta keep going. You gotta keep going.
Yeah, if he doesn't, I mean, there is a very thin chance that he gets. Oh, mate.
No, but you take the Brook.
What?
Oh, okay.
What?
Wow, okay.
What?
That was crazy. That was insane.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Oh my gosh. That was okay. Basically, it was a matter of who
Wow. Okay.
made the blunder first. That
right.
was Forsen. He also made the blunder second and third. But it was just, I think, being familiar with his fast time control.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened is once Forsen blundered the Rook, he just thought, okay, it's over. I just go make moves as fast as I humanly can, and hopefully it works out. I think is what he was, the way that he was approaching it. But again, he was just going a little bit too fast. I think even if he had not lost the queen, he still might have had a chance there to survive and win. But once he blundered the queen, there was no way he was going to do it. Just a little bit too slow not too slow, but a little bit too. Just didn't use the time at the right moments there where he had the chances.
Right, and that feels rough for Forsen because I feel like he played better overall in both of the longer time control games, and it seemed like it was just a matter of he has slips more often than Boxbox.
Yeah, I would agree. I think certainly Forsen probably should have won both of the slower games, but when it counted, he made that one blunder in that first game, and then in this final 3-minute game, he also made a blunder. So very, very, very tough loss for Forsen. But I think both players they played very well, and they both had their chances.
All right, chat. Well, we are going to do a player interview, and then afterwards, the Choco Bars and Ludwig match. We'll be right back after a short break. We are back. We're joined by Forsen and Boxbox. First off, let me start off by congratulating you, Albert. It was 3 very close games, but you came out stronger in the 3-0. How are you feeling right now?
I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed. I definitely I thought I'd be very fine. I thought I could just play solid chess, but he impressed me so much with his prep. Oh my god, both of those games, those first 2 games were nightmares for me. I was so stressed out.
Yeah, that's fair. Hikaru and I were talking about how we felt like Forsen's preparation and his games in the longer time control, he was actually outplaying you in a lot of them and then would end up making a mistake in the end. Or in the first game and then in the third game.
Yeah, it felt like he very carefully went over what to do. He seemed so prepared.
Yeah, Forsen, can you tell us a little bit about your preparation?
Well, I played off stream. I didn't prepare for him specifically. Because I think his opening is kind of bad. But I did know some tricks for sure. But mostly just not playing what I used to play because people studied my shit and then they beat me with hard counters. So just some new things basically that are good and solid.
And for Forsen and Boxbox, Forsen, maybe you could reply first. Did you guys practice any 3-0 lately, just in case it went on to the tie breaks?
No, I haven't played a single game of 3-0.
I didn't either. I just would figure I'd accept my defeat if it came to 3-0.
Oh wow. Yeah, Hikaru, do you have any comments on how their overall performance went?
I mean, I thought you both played very well. I mean, there was one moment, I'm not sure if you saw this, Force, and obviously you can go back and look at the game later, but in the first game, there's this one moment where you could have moved your queen to this A8 square and made a checkmate all the way down the long diagonal to H1. And it would have been a nice mate. Nonetheless, you played really well. Just that one move, that pawn push, which gave up the knight, was, I guess, too much. But overall, you played great. Second game was fantastic. The way you found the queen f3 and queen f7 checkmate. So I thought you played great, and really it was just that one blunder in the first game, I think, which did you in. But I was very impressed by your play throughout. And it's unfortunate to lose.
I'm pretty sure I'm the better player, but I mean, seeding fucked me over in the 3-0. It's you cannot do anything if you are not used to 3-0 because black is reactive, while you can just play your game as white in 3-0. You save so much time by not having to react anything. I just it's so hard 3-0. I think it's like a roulette fucking category, but I guess practice makes perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, you got the black piece because you did lose this final game to Nim in the group.
I guess that's my fault too.
Well, Forsen, you won't be continuing on to the semifinals, but what was your overall experience with PogChamps like?
It was fun. It was fun. Definitely fun. I feel like you improved a lot as a chess player in just like a few weeks, really, from how you used to play. It was good. It was unfortunately like a little bit late, but mostly NA players in the tournament, so it makes sense. But yeah, overall good, I think.
And Boxbox, you get to take on Voyboy, the reason why you entered the PogChamps tournament. Next, any thoughts on that?
Well, I've been a streamer all my life, but I do enjoy competing, and there comes a point in some of the competitions where partway through I feel like I already got what I was looking for. I had a blast, especially with this game. I really loved feeling like all the pressure and like weeks worth of practice trying, hopefully paying off. Already in the middle of this match, I was thinking like if I win or lose, or even if I lose here, like it was still a worth it time. Now I can just like go into this next match with like no regrets.
Oh, that's very fair. And do you think you're going to practice your 3-0 at all in case it goes to tiebreak, or you're just going to focus preparing for the longer time control?
If it goes to tiebreak, who gets white, who gets black?
Is he the higher seed? Because he did lose to Erob, so I think there's a chance you get
No,
the white
you're the
pieces.
higher seed. You'll
Yeah.
get white. You'll get
Because
white.
of his loss with Erob.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna practice.
All right. Well, I'm not going to comment on that. Boxbox is totally up to you. But Forsen and Boxbox, thank you so much for doing the interview. Congratulations again, Boxbox and Forsen. You honestly played incredibly in the longer time control formats, and I know the 3-0 was tough.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Take care, you guys. So up next, we have Ludwig with the white